You know, we all have this sort of map in our heads of what's up there, in the sky. But have you ever really stopped to think about where that map even came from? Or what it's really showing us? Well, today, we're going to dig into that.
So let me ask you a simple question. What's directly above your head right now? Sounds easy, right? But the answer isn't just one thing. It's actually a whole collection of different maps, and each one tells a totally different story. And we're about to explore all of them. So on one hand, you've got the scientific map. It's clear, it's physical, it's a chart of what's actually out there. But then, our minds, our cultures, our questions, they create this completely different kind of map. One that's full of mystery and meaning and metaphor. Let's start with the science one first.
All right, first up, let's start climbing. We're beginning with that scientific map, and we're going to ascend through the layers of our atmosphere one by one.
Okay, so right above us, think of it like this giant, invisible ocean of air, but it's all in layers. Right here, where we live and breathe, that's the troposphere. It's where basically all of our weather happens. If you climb higher, you hit the stratosphere. Super important, because that's where the ozone layer lives. Next up is the mesosphere. That's like our cosmic shield. It's where meteors burn up in these brilliant streaks. Above that, you've got the thermosphere, where satellites are silently orbiting and the auroras do their dance. And then finally, way out there is the exosphere, kind of the last whisper of our atmosphere as it just fades into the void of space. And to put that into perspective for you, just that second layer, the stratosphere, it goes up 50 kilometers. I mean, that's like stacking 5 Mount Everests on top of each other. And the thermosphere, where our satellites are just zipping around the planet, that reaches up to 600 kilometers. It is a vast, precisely measured ocean of gas above us. A very, very clear map. But is it the only one? So is that really what we see when we look up? I mean, is a scientific diagram all there is to it? Of course not. Our minds take us to way more interesting places.
So now, let's explore a completely different kind of territory, the human map. This one, it's not charted with things like altitude or gas compositions. Oh no, it is shaped by our questions. Just take a look at the kinds of questions people are asking online. This one from Reddit really gets at this fundamental confusion we have. In the gravity-free world of space, do words like up and down even mean anything?
And then things get a lot more philosophical. See, people aren't asking about the mesosphere here. They're searching for some deeper connection between the heavens and our lives down here on Earth.
This one just goes to show you how much our earthbound perspective really shapes our cosmic map. We instinctively try to apply our local sense of direction to the entire universe, and, well, we get all tangled up.
You see, all these questions, they reveal that for us, above is way more than just a direction. It's a destination for our biggest questions about meaning and purpose. And that, well, that inevitably leads us to the idea of heaven. But hey, even the map of heaven isn't simple. Within Christian thought, for example, there are two really different popular ideas of what the hereafter is actually like. So on one side, you have what you could call the fantastic view. This is the heaven of popular imagination, right? It's physical, it's super detailed, you got streets of gold, pearly gates. It's basically our world, but just, perfected. But on the other side, there's the agnostic view. This one's much more minimalist, it's skeptical of all those physical descriptions, and instead it focuses on abstract principles, things like love and mutuality. It's a more intellectual, less descriptive kind of map.
This image here kind of captures that agnostic perspective. It's not some picturesque destination, right? It's more like a principle or a state of being. It feels closer to pure data than it does to a painted landscape. This is heaven stripped down to its barest essentials.
But what if both of these popular maps are actually pointing in the wrong direction? Some theological analysis out there suggests that our entire idea of heaven as a place we go to is a pretty fundamental misreading.
This quote from scholar Kerry Robichaud is, well, it's pretty startling. He argues that if the central hope of Christianity is going to heaven when you die, you would expect the Bible to be crystal clear about it, right? But he says that when you actually go and look for the evidence, it's surprisingly thin.
And this is the crucial insight. The argument is that when scriptures use words like heavenly, they aren't describing a location, not someplace up there. They're describing a quality of existence, the quality of being in God's presence. So it's not a change of address, it's a change of state.
So right now, you might be thinking, okay, this is interesting, but isn't this all just a matter of semantics? Why does this distinction actually matter?
Well, as it turns out, it matters a whole lot. So the argument here is that this popular idea of heaven as, a perfected life in the sky is so wildly different from the idea of a state of being that it actually hides the original meaning. This isn't just quibbling over words, it's a completely different map that leads to a totally different destination.
And that really brings us to our final point. The maps we draw of the sky, whether it's a diagram of the atmosphere or a vision of the afterlife, they say a lot about us. A map of physical layers, that reflects a value for empirical knowledge. A map of a perfected earthly paradise? Well, that reflects our anxieties and desires about our current life.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Whether you define above as the exosphere, or a place of mystery, or a state of being, that definition, it's a mirror. So what does your map of the sky reveal about what truly matters to you right here on the ground?